Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you're new here, welcome if you're returning. I hope you're having a good day. Today I wanted to film a video recommending some books that if you liked Heated Rivalry, then you may like these books, because Heated Rivalry is obviously an incredible duology. It's gonna have 3 books soon, but it's amazing. I'm so glad it's taken the world by storm, as it rightfully should. But I also wanted to discuss some other books that are enemies to lovers and are in the sports field. Not all of these are hockey. I think I've got like a few hockey ones and then some that aren't hockey based, but that I really liked and have that same kind of, I guess, feel as Heated Rivalry to them. So let's get into it. The first book I have is Garen Park by Nautica Knight. Now this is a duology. This came out a few years ago and I read it then and I remember really loving it. And so in this book we're following our 2 main characters. We have Devon, sorry I just have to look at my computer because I'm awful with people's names in books. We have Devon and Maddox and they both live in, I guess what we would call here like a trailer park. It's a really shit environment for both of them and they do motocross. I really obviously don't know much about motocross, hence my limited vocabulary around it, but they both ride in motocross and they are both aiming to win the prize, which is a lump sum of money to get out of their shithole of a town basically, and their bad situations that they're in. And one night, Devon goes to find his brother because Maddox and Devon's brothers are best friends. And they actually have their own book duology, which I've not read, but anyway, that's just a side note. And he stumbles upon Maddox. And this book just has some really good intimate moments that aren't like sexual at all, that are that real like enemies kind of intimate moments, like where one of them's hurt and the other one has to come and like help them, those kind of moments. And it's just so good. I really remember loving these books and really enjoying them, and their enemy part being really strong, because I don't really like when books have like titled it enemies to lovers but then they're not really enemies, or there's not really that dislike towards each other. And so I would recommend reading these ones if you are wanting that kind of like enemies to lovers feel. It's got some sport involved in it. And it's just like a good book duology, really. So that's the book number 1 that I would recommend you check out. Moving on to probably my favorite book that is hockey. This is a hockey one. But besides Heated Rivalry, Iced Out by C.E. Ricky is my all-time favorite like hockey romance. I love this book so much. I actually have a reading vlog when it initially came out like years ago. If you want to check that out, I'm pretty sure it's public. If not, I'll make it public. But I love this book so much. We have our 2 main characters. So we have Quentin, and I've forgotten his name even though I love the book. Oakley. How can I forget Oakley? We have Quentin and Oakley, and I have just written next to my note for this, perfection. I mean, that's all I have to say for it. We have ice hockey in this one. So this is a hockey based one. It's based in college. These 2 hate each other and it's so good. And then it just turns to obviously the lovers towards the end. But I'm just stumbling over my words. C.E. Ricky, when she writes in Enemies to Lovers, can write it really well. Really, really well. I think that's where she shines actually, in writing Enemies to Lovers. And these 2 are no exception. I've read this book a few times already and it's just perfection, as I said before. So I would really recommend, if you like Heated Rivalry and you haven't read Iced Out, you must read Iced Out because it's just as good. I love that book. Next, we have one that I've read recently. This is called The Risk Taker by Stephanie Alves. And we're following 2 players. So again, this is a hockey based one. And this one's a bit more of a cutesy one. I'd say it's like not my favorite out of the ones I'm recommending, but it's still really good if you just want like an easier kind of read. I mean, I read it in like 2 days. I was still really hooked on it. But we're following our main characters. So we have Nathan, who is really quiet, who is just trying to get through and is like head down wanting to do well. And then we have Logan, who's like life of the party. He's just here for a good time. And the coach just basically asks Nathan to keep Logan in check. And with that, I mean, they obviously have a strong dislike towards each other, and like that fun flirty banter comes from Logan towards Nathan, and he like can't read it. And then as things do, they take their turn. And this one was just easy to read. It's quite fun. I really enjoyed it. I read it quite quickly. I love the cover. There's going to be other books in this series. So yeah, I recommend checking it out if you're just wanting like a nice, easy enemies to lovers that's based in hockey and based in college. Then we have one that is actually dance related. It's ballet. And this is Limerence by Scarlett Drake. And we're following Felix and Nico, who are both, they're not ballerine, they're ballerinos, I think is what they're called. And they are kind of like both fighting for top spot in this ballet school. And it's really good story. It's not even just good like enemies to lovers or even just like a good book, but I really enjoyed Scarlett's writing, and I really enjoyed this as a story because it covers a few like deeper kind of topics as well. But yeah, this one is really good if you're wanting a bit of a switch up from like a hockey or any other kind of sport. I'd really recommend giving this one a go as well, because again, it follows like two people trying to fight for the top spot in the ballet world. And then we have one that I've read recently, and this is Like a Power Play by Elle Sprinkle. And this is like a sapphic ice hockey book, and we're following Peyton, who's our team captain. Her dad, he is like a NHL legend, and so there's a lot of pressure on her to achieve, to do well, to get drafted. And then we have Darcy, who she used to play hockey, and due to kind of like medical condition is unable to do so anymore, but her mum is the coach and she has now been brought in as the assistant coach, and these two just don't get along at all. But it's so cute and I really enjoyed it. It was well written and it's sapphic, so I mean, hello, it's great. I don't feel like you see like ice hockey that often that is sapphic. And it just reminded me like when the Olympics were going on, I was like obsessed with Caroline Harvey, who is a hockey player for the US's team. Oh my god, I had such a big crush on her. That's all this book reminded me of. So I think I loved it for that reason as well. That one's really good. I'd recommend checking that out if you're wanting, you know, a sapphic kind of sport. I mean, there's a lot of other sapphic sport romances, but I haven't really read any that are ice hockey related. And so this one I would definitely check out. And lastly, a book series that I have spoken about many a times on this channel. We have the Foxhole Court series by Nora Sakovic. I love this book series. I won't shut up about this book series either, even though it follows a fictional sport. So it follows Exie, but that's like based off lacrosse. So it's kind of real, but it's kind of not. And in this book series, we have a range of characters that we meet over, I think there's now like 5 books, I want to say, because then there's 2 that are about different characters in a different like state, but like crosses over. But in this book series, we are following Neil, who is a main character. Again, I've spoken about this book series many times, so if you've heard me already speak about it and you're like, shut up, sorry, you can skip ahead. We're following Neil, who again comes from a really shitty background. This book series is like as unrealistic as they come, but in the best way. It's like you're reading it and you know that this is obviously not happening because it involves like mafia, Exie, it's like the extremes of everything, but again in the best way. And he becomes a part of this like new Exie team. They're not new, but like a part of a new team to him. And it's like the team for all the people who've like had a shit life, essentially. And in this we meet Andrew, who their love story is like very slow burn, and like you see don't even really see them get like a kiss, but it's like the tiny intimate moments. And again, this is like enemies to lovers, but like these tense tiny moments, I just eat them up. I eat this book series up. I've read it countless times. I'm due for a reread. I just love it. I can't rave about it enough. But please don't go into it with the expectation that this is like a realistic book series at all, because that would just be setting you up to fail. But it's truly just something else in the best way. And it follows them obviously playing like this sport and fighting against this other team, the Ravens, which is like the really awful team. Like they're like the extreme of being horrific to players to get good results. And like I said, we follow a few different characters, but our main ones are Neil and Andrew. And then in the other two books, we have different characters, but I won't spoil it. So yeah, that's a book series. Again, I'd always recommend if you love like enemies to lovers, if you love, even though it's really light on the lovers, you really don't get to see much of them being lovers. So if you need that, maybe not for you, but if you don't, highly recommend. And I lost what I was going to say. I just basically love that book series. I really think if you are wanting like, again, like a sport based kind of enemies to lovers, I'd recommend that one. But yeah, those are just some of the books that I feel like are similar to Heated Rivalry in one way or another, whether that be it's a sport based, they're all enemies to lovers, but they maybe just even have like a similar feel that I would recommend. If you liked Heated Rivalry, then you might like these ones. So yeah, if you've read any of them, please let me know down below. Let me know what your thoughts were. And if you enjoy them, again, please let me know if you've got any other recommendations. There was actually one other book duology that I wanted to mention. I think it's called Hooked In. I completely forget who it's by and what it's about, but it's just come to my mind. I'll put it up on the screen, but this one is about boxing. This is enemies to lovers, but make it boxing. And I remember really enjoying that one. I think it's by like Eve someone. I can't remember the characters' names for the life of me, but it was really good too. So that's another one you could check out if you liked Heated Rivalry. But yeah, other than that, thank you so much for being here, for watching. If you've got any recommendations, please comment them down below. As always, I hope you have a good day and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.